Greetings, I am Tavotron, and I'm going to be commentating over my PB of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. This game came out in 1995, and this is the category of normal Morphless. The PB shown in this video is 28 minutes and 59 seconds. The world record is 28 minutes and 43 seconds by me, which means that I am the world record holder. And yeah, let's get started. The speedrun begins when you take control of your selected character in stage 1. So this is the first stage. As you can see, I selected the Red Ranger, Rocky. He has a very useful trick, which is the flying kick. You can hit your opponent twice while you're in the air. And this is the mechanic that we will be using for the most part in the game. So as you can see, I'm collecting energy. Collecting energy is required to morph into a Power Ranger and more. So some people would say Aisha and Kimberly are faster in terms of movement speed. Why not select them? And it's like, they don't have the flying kick, they have a flying punch that has very little hitbox. So yeah, we select Rocky, and that is going to be the Ranger that is going to be in the game for the most part. The only exception is going to be on stage 3 and the final stage, in which we're going to pick Kimberly, the Pink Ranger. So as you can see, there are multiple tricks in this game generally, which involves precise jumping, damage boosting, energy collection, and if I have to mention one more thing, that would be movement optimization. You notice that if you stand still and you attack, you cannot move, but if you attack during mid-air, you can control where you're going to land. So that is a movement optimization. So that was a mini boss. You can just take him out by using the special attack when you are already morphed into a Power Ranger. Let's talk about the Power Ranger being morphed. So when you morph into a Power Ranger, you attack power doubles. As Rocky, you're not able to do flying kicks, just flying punches. And if you feel your power bar to the max, you can do a special attack. Not only that, while that bar is active, you can unleash your weapon, which is in this case a sword. The sword is a very powerful weapon because it deals more damage than the punches, it has slightly more range, and it hits in a nice arc, which we're going to be using against the stage 1 boss, which is Mirror Maniac, just this one, and the stage 4 boss, just Magnet Brain, which we're going to see in the future. So as you can see, I'm jumping and attacking. He threw the best RNG possible, which is no teleport attack. and we're able to move to the next stage. So about RNG in this game, depending on the goal that you want to set as a speedrunner, RNG may have or may not have a heavy influence. Like you could see that I mentioned Mirror Maniac's teleport attack. Also, there's Skill Arena, which is the third boss of this game. Cannon Top, which can be which is manipulable. Its patterns can be manipulated. Minded Brain, which has only RNG at the start of the fight. Mainframe, which is the sixth boss, which RNG determines the speed of the fight, if you can say it that way. And Ivanus, which is the final boss of this game. So this is the stage 2. As you could see, there were some planes flying, and if you are quick enough, if your movement is consistent enough, you can skip one cycle. These planes fly in a global cycle. So yeah, I forgot to mention that this is a beat 'em up game, and sometimes the screen is going to lock up and you won't advance until you defeat all enemies. So this is the section 2 of the stage. As you can see, you can throw back the bombs with an uppercut, which is done by pressing up and the attack button, which is Y. This is a very dangerous trick, the double death jump. And this is another bomb throwing scene. What you have to do is deflect the bombs back to the enemies, and if you destroy them all, you can save up to 3 seconds each cycle. So this is a damage boost that is made by the spider. Saves a couple of seconds. So there's another important move when you are morphed into a Power Ranger. When you press down and the jump button, which is B, you are going to do a backflip. While you are backflipping, you are invulnerable during the animation. So this is the second boss, Cannon Top. The idea is to stay on the platforms and attack from there, but if you hit a pixel perfect location, you don't need to use the platforms, and you can just stand there and wail on them. After 14 hits, you have to press X to unleash the special. So very easy fight. And we're moving to stage 3, which is an auto-scroller. This is the only auto-scroller in the game, and we're going to select Kimberly, like we mentioned before. So the idea is you have to defeat the enemies as soon as they appear during the auto-scroller section, and that will save between 3 and 4 seconds. So as you noticed on the 2 previous stages. I morph into a Power Ranger in certain locations. Like for example in stage 1, I morph after a certain enemy wave. On stage 2, I morph into a Power Ranger in a specific area. The real importance of morphing would come in stage 4, 5, and 6. So this is an auto-scroller. There's not much to say. This would be the perfect time to read donations or something. And yeah, I'm going to explain about the game's difficulty. As you can see, I have 4 lives. For most runners, lives are not too much important, because you can pretty much gain them pretty easily in this game, honestly. Because depending on your score, you will gain a certain number of lives. Also, there are some lives that are along the way. Rib sandwich. So that's another item that is important besides the energy. The sandwich can recover 1 HP. Here I wait on this location to morph. So there's another type of food in this game, which is the pork chop, that recovers all of your energy. That's only available on the first section of stage 5, which are going to be shown later. So about the energy. There are 2 types of energies. There's the small ones and there's the large ones. The large ones, I think, they provide 3 or 5 times more energy than the small ones. The energy is going to play a massive role through the game, because you want to morph into a Power Ranger as fast as possible. So this is skill arena. He can throw a very large number of patterns, attack patterns, which is going off the screen, throwing fire, attacking with his claws, and teleporting. You want the claw attack and the fire attack because he stands still, and if you stay between the fire hitbox and his hitbox, they won't hurt you. So that was skill arena, that was stage 3, and we're going to go to the 4th stage, which is the cargo train. Back to Roki, because we're going to need that flying kick. So I told you that
no way.
You have to morph in a specific spot, right? Well, there's a mini-boss in this stage, and you have to morph there, because when you morph, not only you recover your health fully, you will also deal a great quantity of damage to all enemies on screen. Another thing that I didn't mention when you're morphed is that you gain movement speed as well, with the exception of Aisha and Kimberly. So here the screen locked and I had to defeat all the enemies. those oil tanks can be destroyed, but that generates lag and also makes you lose time because you have to wait for them to explode. So here we have the power bar full, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we morph. 8 kicks. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On the left, and the Minimus has been defeated. So here on the second section of the stage, we have to carefully collect energy because it is completely mandatory to have the power bar full before you have to fight Magnet Brain. Because we mentioned that you can use your sword when you have full energy. And the attack goes into a nice arc, which will allow us to perform a quick kill that mitigates RNG, also effectively saves time, and generally makes the boss easier. So here we perform a damage boost, and we go forward. Those sword enemies take 2 hits, so we just make 1 punch and then go to the left to defeat the other. So here's Magnet Brain, and I'm going to show the quick kill. The quick kill depends on a certain pattern that Magnet Brain can throw in the beginning of the fight. He can jump towards you, or he can use his staff to pull you towards him. That's the pattern that you want to perform the quick kill since the beginning. So that was Magnet Brain, that was stage 4, and now we're going to stage 5. Again with Rocky. There's an upcoming trick that's called the Rocky Fence, which will allow you to jump to the background without staying still and then going to the background. As you can see, I failed the trick and I had to stand still and then press L or R to go to the background. So here we just move to the right, avoid all kind of obstacles, and it's very important that we destroy those robots because they can drop large energy or small energy. There is a strategy that you can use if all of the robots that you defeat drop large amounts of energy. You can defeat the upcoming ninja in 2 cycles instead of 3, and that was a mini boss, a truck that can be destroyed by using flying kicks. So there was a power truck. This is the ninja. We can pretty much defeat him by using flying kicks and then crouching kicks. These are the last enemies of the first section. And then we're going inside the power plant. Here in the power plant, the main obstacles are these electrified floors. They are in a global cycle. And what we have to do is go forward while avoiding the electrified floors. So here we have enough energy to morph and destroy the door immediately. That is very important. So here this is a tower, which is jump through and take some time to have the best cycle. These crushers are insta-kill, so you have to be careful. But luckily, on the speedrun. So luckily in the speedrun they are not so threatening. We just go through them and just destroy doors, which takes 6 punches. Here we use the conveyor belt speed to destroy the enemy. In that container there's a 1-up, but we are going to go up to have the best cycle possible. And these laser rooms, we have to pretty much destroy the enemies that are in our way. This second laser room, we just have to move forward using the conveyor belt speed. Here the screen locks, and we have to defeat all enemies before going to the third section. The third section is a climb.
Okay.
There are certain enemies that have a global pattern, as you can see. Also, we have to destroy 2 containers for energy. If you know what to do on this climb, if you follow exactly the best possible way to climb it, then you won't have any problems. So there's a ninja. We just say goodbye to him because we can throw him off the scenario by using the uppercut. And then we're going to the 5th boss, which is Silver Horn. So after attacking 4 times, he's going to be invulnerable for a certain period of time. We do this, we collect the energy container, 3 swords, and then X for maximum damage. It is very important that we defeat Silver Horn in the center of the screen, because if we defeat him to the far left or far right, he's going to slowly walk towards the middle to explode. So that was the 5th stage. And we're going to stage 6. Here there's yet another global timer that will determine if certain things on the stage move, like for example these elevators or the crushers in the beginning of the stage. So here the screen locks up and we have to defeat all enemies. We are carefully collecting energy again. And we're going to move to the 2nd section, which has conveyor belts. If they are going to the left, we just go through by jumping, and if we're going to the right, we just walk. We have to avoid these electrified obstacles by just jumping very carefully. Then we go to the background, destroy these 2 enemies, and we have enough energy to face the mini-boss, which again, we're gonna morph, and we're going to wail on him. So this next section is very important. This is the rocket section, and there's a certain technique that I call the rocket boost. Which requires damage boosting and going through a global cycle. We can save several seconds by doing this, and not only we can save several seconds, but also have enough health to face the boss, Mainframe. You're going to have exactly 2 health instead of 1. But the bad thing is, it is a very precise trick because you need your movement pattern to be completely optimized. So there we miss this cycle and we have to pretty much go like we normally do. Forgot to tell you something. If you die, you're going to lose 5 seconds. So the upcoming boss, Mainframe, has 3 patterns. It's a brain that will command 3 orbs. The first orb, the red one, is going to throw fire, the green one is going to throw bullets, and the blue one is going to throw lightning. You want the green one and the blue one, because the fire generates lag. The only bad thing about this fight is that the blue orb, which throws lightning, it's a bit hard to dodge. As you can see, you have to jump and punch at a certain moment to at the same time attack the brain and dodge the lightning.
But it's going to be a 28 anyway.
So we had a mediumly bad pattern, and that was stage 6. We're going to move to a final stage, stage 7, and we're going to pick Kimberly. So this is the final boss, Ivan Us. He is an RNG nightmare. But there's a key to defeat him. And that key is when you attack him 3 times, he's going to be invulnerable and summon spikes around him. Like so. You have to do this as much as possible until he reaches a certain point on his life bar, and he's going to do shockwave attacks, which deals double damage. That's another thing that I forgot to mention. Most attacks in this game are going to do 1 damage, but Ivan is going to do 2 damage with his shockwave attack. Not only the shockwaves themselves, but Ivan itself on contact damage while summoning the shockwave. So that was a very good fight. It is very important that you have 5 or 4 points of health, because there are going to be damage boosts on the escape section, which is the final section of the game. So here we have to escape the lair. Shouts to Super Metroid. So this is the first damage boost, which will allow us to take the elevating platform. Here we just backflip through the enemies and break doors. It's another damage boost. Then we have to cross this vertical section, and you do so by pressing up while you're jumping, and you will hang on these bars. So this is the final screen You have to defeat 16 enemies, and when you defeat the 16th one, you can stop the timer, and the speedrun will be complete. So it's not too complicated, this final section. And there. That was the speedrun of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie on Super Nintendo. And yeah, I hope you liked the run. And see you in the event if this gets approved, of course. So yeah, I want to shout out a couple of people before calling it. So shoutouts to Nirvana Runs, who was the world record holder for 5 years. He taught me the advanced strats on this game. And shoutouts to Kawami CX for showing me the basic strats to run this game. So yeah, this is the end of the Summer Games Done Quick submission video. And this is Tavotron signing out. Thanks for watching.